Greetings, viewers and listeners. Welcome to Heroes of Thylea, an actual play, show, and podcast produced by Lionhead Gaming. This production is the Lionhead Gaming version of Odyssey of the Dragonlords, an epic 1 to 20 adventure book for D&D 5th edition created by Arcanum Worlds. A blend of classic high fantasy with Greek mythology to create an epic saga of an adventure, combined with my own changes to create something unique and wonderful that I hope both you and my excellent cast of close friends enjoy. And so with that, I want to let the cast reintroduce themselves and their characters.
Hello, I'm Brendan, he, him, and I play Sophia, the Stygian philosophy wizard. We are all just pawns in a game of which we do not understand the rules.
Hi, I'm Nikki, they, them, and I play Imperia, the nymph Amazonian ranger. Dragons. They're just such awe-inspiring creatures.
I'm Mel, she, her, and I play Nyx, the nymph prophecy cleric.
I've spent centuries asking questions, and the only ones who have ever answered me are the stars.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Peter, my pronouns are he, him, and I play Trace, the human hoplite fighter. Remember what has been lost. Fight for what hasn't been.
Excellent. And with that, it is time for us now to begin episode 50 with a recap from the one and only Melanie.
Previously on Heroes of Thylea. After a long and tumultuous trip up Mount Koth, the oracles chosen Mont Telemoch. I knew it! Sorry. Start over. Previously on Heroes of Thylea, after a long and tumultuous trip up Mount Telemoch, the oracles chosen have made it to the necropolis, and an audience with Daemon, one of the Dragonlords who now watches over the tomb of his brethren, and let daring or foolish Mystios to take to XANDER's challenge. He left the group alone for 2 days, tasking Sophia with learning something from the past Dragonlords. If she succeeded, he would provide her with a tome, one that is meant to be provided to any that make it to the end of the challenge, but seeing as she was the first follower of the Pale Moon Moth to venture to this place, this was his test for her. Each tomb of the Dragonlord had a unique sarcophagus and murals depicting each a different way. Imperia struggled with the realization that the Dragonlords, the very people who were revered in Thylea, who partnered with dragons, were not all as the stories made them out to be. The only tomb they could not enter was XANDER's, which was the most decorated and locked by bronze-handled doors. Nyx and Imperia were in quick agreement with what it was they believed the Dragonlords lacked. Many of them depicted alone in their murals. The dragons they were oath-sworn with were in the background of their tombs or in disagreement with the vices of their partner. Estor's dragon was even depicted as leaving him in his mural. The nymphs knew at once the past Dragonlords were self-centered. The mistake they made was failing to stand united in their efforts. Or as Imperia put it, teamwork. Those words uttered in the quiet tomb unlocked XANDER's hall, his, the most decorated of all, and depicted not just his story, but the origins of the Dragonlords. They had come from a place not known to anyone in Thylea, a foreign world, but it had become overrun with fire and demon kind. The first Dragonlords and their dragons were decided by a council and departed with 12 ships to find a new home. Only 6 made the journey and found Thylea. XANDER's murals depicted him with the Dragonlords at his side, and the alliances he helped form around Thylea, including forming of the Myrmidons. Inscribed within a great crystal at the bottom of his hall was advice for those to take on his challenge, advising on the side of unity to face the foe of dragonkind, mankind, and the foes of Thylea herself. With all of the tombs investigated, the oracles chosen were left to their own devices until Daemon returned in 2 days' time. He asked Sophia what she learned of the Dragonlords, and what lesson it is she took from their tombs. Being the honest Stygian that she is, Sophia told him the lesson her group agreed on was teamwork, but she had another revelation. That being a Dragonlord in and of itself is meaningless. Bad people could hold the title of Dragonlord. But it was less the people who were important, and more so how the title of Dragonlord was perceived and given power and influence by society. Damon seemed satisfied with how she answered, and gifted upon her a tome from their patron, the Libra Absoluta Arcanum. We rejoined the oracles chosen, standing before Damon, and to enter their final of 3 labors, XANDER's challenge. If they succeed, they will carry the title of Dragonlord, and with it, the task of facing the Titans when the Oath of Peace concludes. Join us tonight as we continue our odyssey on Heroes of Thylea.
Very nicely done, even with your slight mistake at the beginning. Perfect.
Your
perfect.
sin.
Yeah, your
I
sin.
know, right? We gotta stop. We gotta take out mountains in other campaigns.
Yeah, all the mountains. As with that excellent recap, your mythic inspiration resets and is set to 2.
Ooh.
Culmination of your progress thus far in understanding the tombs around you, even if there is some internal disagreement, you're all finding yourselves, well, holding on to a bit of understanding and bracing yourselves for the challenge yet to come. A challenge that has not been bested since its inception over 5 centuries ago. A challenge which has laid low all the heroes who thought themselves worthy before. Yes.
Oof.
Maybe these heroes will have their story end differently.
We can only hope.
Sophia, you've just received the Libra Absoluta Arcanum. And Damon almost seems
Whoops.
relieved by it. You cast some warding bond on yourself. Nice.
Get that out of there. Sorry.
Neat thing that they added to that condition thing. I think if you hover over it in the chat log, you can hit the little X and remove it from yourself too.
Mm.
Or I can reapply it with a simple refresh icon.
I don't see any
Damon.
X.
Yeah, maybe it's a GM only thing. Yeah, it's a GM only thing. That makes sense. Here you go. Get some more exhaustion. There you go. Have it back. As let me clear that. Damon seems to sort of not shrink like he did when sort of having that private moment with you, Impheria, but just seems to sort of set his lantern down in front of him and just sort of look between the lot of you. Kira, much in the same way, though. You can see the quill on her strange, massive scroll continues to write almost feverishly.
Damon, before we proceed, I was hoping you can answer some questions I've had after we've been through this place.
Perhaps I can answer these questions.
The mural within Xander's Hall that depicted your ships going through stormy black seas. Do you know what that was? Did any of you have any idea what that was?
There was but one amongst us that did. My teacher, Neil Ramona. She referred to it as a gap of sorts. The space in between spaces. It was thanks to her understanding of magic that those ships were even able to sail upon it. It was not water.
I'm a little relieved that you actually have an answer. I'd been in that space once too, but... You came from another world, a place that isn't of Thylea. Yet there is an oath of the Dragonlords. As Nyx looks back at Kira briefly. My understanding is the magic of oaths is specific to Thylea, so how was it that the Dragonlords of Avalon, how was it that you were able to swear and keep an oath to the dragons? Was that something in your world as well?
No, nothing like how it pervades all of Thylea. Oaths here are... they go beyond magic. They go beyond a simple understanding of runes and philosophy. It is... do you mind resetting that? For months we had been fine. It is an oath that was more magical in Avalon, not enforced by the strange entities known as the Furies and their disciples. Yeah, and of course this time my other monitor doesn't want to come back on. Awesome. Bear with me.
What do you mean by that? It was a different kind of magic from where you were from.
Something created by the father of Balmaitria. A way of taking the friendship and commitment that he had with Xander's father and making it something greater.
Before you came here, magic only existed for a single generation.
What do you mean?
Said it was born of relationship with Balmaitria, I'm assuming an elder dragon, but also Xander's father. Was he immortal?
I'm fairly sure he meant the oath, Sophia, not magic
Not
itself.
magic itself. Magic
Yeah.
itself has existed on Thylea for thousands of years.
No, not Thylea, Avalon, but the oath specifically was.
I do mean the oath, sorry.
So simply the connection of dragon and man, or elf, whoever was the first of the Dragonlords. What was Xander? Was he a human?
He certainly looks human.
You know,
Doesn't have pointed ears, doesn't have a thick, luxurious dwarf beard. Seems to be, of average height and build. Doesn't seem Goliathy.
so before you left, you formed something akin to the oath, and then once reaching here, it was similar enough to hold.
Yes. It almost seemed to deepen the connection after we traveled here into Thylea, past the wall of fog and storms at its borders.
That mean that it is still not governed by the Furies? Or has it been adopted by them?
It has been broken in the past, as you saw, and it has not fallen under the purview of the Furies. But that oath has a tax upon the soul itself, it feels. Some Dragonlords have lost their dragon and seemingly lost themselves. Never were the same, even if they did not perish.
I asked mostly because I wondered if your oaths were not bound by the same forces in Avalon as they are here. If that contributed to why so many of the Dragonlords seem to discard their dragon counterparts. And if that same thing was now impossible with the oath of Dragonlords sworn within Thylea.
I think such a thing is still possible. The oath that XANDER wishes for his successors to make is different. It is not the oath of the Dragonlords. It is not an oath like any other Thylea has known. It is... well, it is his burden to share, not mine.
His burden.
Thank you.
When does the trial start?
When you choose.
Well, then what are we waiting for?
You have given me a gift, and I do not know how to use it yet. I would ask for a small amount of time to see what secrets it holds.
An
She turns to the
understandable
group.
request.
How much time do you need, Sophia?
Should only take 10 minutes or so, depending on
We
what
can
it is
wait
capable
10
of.
minutes.
That's fair.
That's fine.
I will wait inside then to look at something.
Feeble. Walk. Oh god! Why is the map moving while I'm trying to move? No! What are you doing? Map!
It's not moving
Where-
for me.
Why am I being
Nick-
sucked to the left?
Next, turn around and go back into Xander's hall and stand in front of the mural piece with the stormy seas again.
And Sophia will start to cast a ritual.
Did Sylvius tell us about Neuromana? I can't remember how much
Don't
of her
think
like. Okay, so that's a foreign name to Nyx.
She'll sit down and start to cast a ritual of Identify on the book to figure out what the legacy of her patron holds.
Open your mind's eye. Peer into the secrets of the beyond.
Learn what it does.
Imperia is just gonna kind of take another peek around the hall. Look at the dragons. Pay her respects. That kind of thing. Typical Imperia, just kind of wandering.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's a great number of smaller murals and the like, so if you have any sort of questions about what might be in the recorded and shared past of the Dragonlords, feel free to ask. I'll let you know if there's something explaining something relevant to what you're asking.
So I'm starting to set up my ritual. Damon, I have One more question, something you mentioned before. Nix's question.
Sort of just picks up the lantern off the ground and silently turns in place, looking at you.
Those of my family will have been putting effort into finding our patron. Those that wish to learn more about her, believing she exists somewhere she can see us and guide us, but we cannot reach. You said that Nil Ramana had knowledge of a place outside of place. My family members have called such a thing the astral, a theory, something that is between the worlds. We know of other planes, those where demons, devils, even elementals come from, but they theorize that there's something in between it all, a great sea, as it were. Is this what you rode through?
Your lessons have been well remembered. In the astral sea, the way of navigating it, that guidance, all passed down from the pale moon moth. There was no hope for Avalon without her guidance.
And when you sailed through those waters, did you see her?
I was not so privileged, no. But when Ramona tried to reach out to her in the most trying part of the journey, well, it is a disturbing sight to see the one you trust most laid low, babbling in madness. The astral sea is a dangerous and foreboding place. It is thanks to the dragons that we escaped the things that float between the worlds.
So some of my predecessors have learned as well, it seems. I know of a great uncle, it is said to have lost himself when trying to find our patron. I suppose that solves it. Very well. Thank you, Damon. Venus, my ritual. So go through my ritual, figuring out what the book does. Travis, I need more time. It is useful, but needs preparing more than understanding. I should be done in 2 hours or so. That will appease everyone. I'll begin. Let me know if the others don't agree. As Sophia will pull out one book from her bag and lay the two across each leg in front of her, sort of overlapping. As you can see, her hand sort of changes into this jet black, and she starts to just It looks like her mouth is just going a mile a minute as it looks like she's just whispering to herself as she starts to run her hand across the pages.
Seems like Kira and Damon are having a sort of private telepathic exchange as she almost seems to sort of just nod at certain points and shake her head, almost these subconscious expressions of body language, but it is cut off from the rest of you. As Sophia works upon the arcane, Nyx takes in this strange depiction of the astral sea, I think they were calling it. I don't know. And Furia trying to grab a hold of it seems like that bit of reverence, at least for the dragons. Their sins, if they had any, not depicted in these tombs.
Are you in the Balmatria tombs, Inferior, or are you in the Xander tomb?
Xander, I already bid my respects to Volmatria. Cause we Imperia's only really done kind of a brief sweep of Xander's. She didn't stay to look at every mural. So if she has a couple of hours, she'll just kind of like art museum style. Just wander through, take a nice close peek at everything.
Yeah.
Put a mundane object on the ground, see if it attracts tourists.
Give me an investigation check as you're sort of just really appreciating the artwork and kind of taking it in. Oof. It's lot.
Pretty.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like an entire museum's worth of art in one, large, expansive room. And the art seems to be everywhere. It's on the floor, it's on the ceilings, and all along the walls.
It's overwhelming.
Huh? Yeah, it definitely can be, and you're kind of finding yourself like getting a little bit closer to the walls to just sort of like blinder yourself from some of it so you don't see it all at once. You find yourself pausing at one particular depiction. This meeting with Xander and who you presume to be Balmaitria, and this proud-looking, you would think maybe Naiad, a river nymph woman. She looks tall and regal and carries herself with a great deal of pride in the depiction, and you kind of hesitate for a few moments because you're looking at this and you're like so sure that she looks familiar. But it won't come to you.
The only river nymph I know is Mercy. But it won't come to me. I'll linger there for a while, racking my brains.
Yeah,
then I'll give up and move on.
You find yourself thinking of Themis, but without success.
Oh, interesting.
As Nyx is staring, staring at the mural of the stormy seas, as she puts it, she's holding her prayer beads in one hand, the hand where her mark lies, and just speaking softly, almost as if she's talking to it or to someone through it. Did you watch them as they cross? Did you know what they were going to bring to you? Did you toy with them like you toy with me now? Somebody on that ship knew how to cross these seas. How? Did their world have that kind of knowledge that we do? Not expecting an answer, just speaking to a deity that gives her powers. Anti-praying.
Without an ounce of reverence. As time unstoppably advances,
I'm almost done.
you're good.
Oh, wait, I
Nick,
think I am done.
Peter's still AFK
Nick's-
at the moment.
Oof. Nyx will end up going back to Damon to ask how Nuramana knew how to navigate the sea.
She reached beyond Avalon. Projected her
How's-
mind beyond its boundaries. In a desperate attempt to find answers. Even before receiving the teachings of the Pale Moon Moth, Nuramana was one of the greatest wielders of the arcane in Avalon.
Nuramana was a follower of the moth.
The
Is
first follower.
the first. The first? Did she... When did she learn of the moth?
I would say, about 6 or 7 months before we left Avalon.
Did she ever say... What are the origins of the pale moon moth? I've heard from Sophia, and I've no reason to doubt her judgment, but based on what you're telling me, and based on the history of Thylea and everything I know, there's something in here that does not make sense.
Y'all in Sophia earshot.
And probably, I left the... blah, 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 blah. Nyx wouldn't be trying to hide this from Sophia. But, she would have met up where Damon is outside the hall. So Sophia, if you're still on the steps, you might not be able to hear specifics.
Like 30 feet away.
I mean, he is
How much-
speaking telepathically,
Okay.
but aloud.
So like telepathically, but everyone can hear it telepathically. Can they hear Nyx's responses?
Yeah, he essentially works
Yeah.
as like a relay point.
Cool.
When he said that it was several months before the journey, yeah, Sophia's head shoots up.
And Nyx just looks over at Sophia with kind of this, like there's new information, it's freaky kind of face.
Yeah, you just see confusion on her face as well.
And Nyx nods and looks back to Damon. Did the Pale Moon Moth ever tell Nuramana how she came to be?
In a way of speaking, yes. Born from a titan and what you would know as a goddess, the goddess Valis. But that is not the entire story.
What do you mean? It was already trying to understand how Pale Moon Moth could be able to guide the settlers here before their gods ever were. That was already a mystery. And yet now, even before they came to these lands, before they knew of Thylea,
Before
from a
even the
different
five,
world,
before the five even existed at that, in this world.
We are dancing dangerously close to the true secrets of Thylea. The true understanding of what it means to be a Titan, what it means to be a god, what it means to bear a divine spark. These are answers I cannot give you. But it gives me some reassurance that your minds are in such a place. Perhaps these other heroes needed someone with a different perspective on things. She sort of looks to you, Sophia. Someone not so adherent to the way that they understood the world. But do not find yourself consumed by your perspective either.
Can you at least confirm part of the Pale Moon's moth existence is in part because of Lutheria?
It is.
And somehow also of Valis, before she had a presence.
It is.
And another entity that seems to not be known to the walkers of these worlds.
It is known and it is unknown. But it is not. It is not forgotten. Just not fully understood.
Then who is left to remember?
Her children.
The Pale Moon Moth's children, Dakonakato's family.
The children of the land we walk upon. The children of Thylea. The nymphs, Nyx.
I understand, and I'm still confused. Because I am one of the children of Thylea.
So are we all.
the Pale Moon Moth, not only born of two sides in Thylea, but Thylea and another world altogether. Did Avalon have gods?
It did.
Did those that traveled away from such a place hold the belief in their hearts for them still? Carried them with them?
Did any of your gods join you on that journey?
In a way, yes. One of them. A mighty and powerful deity. Much like Vulcan, a lover of craft and creation, gave all that he was so that our forges would be lit no matter where we went. You have been to the Mithril Forge, have you not?
Yes.
Is it not a wonder to you that such a place can create such magical things?
Of course.
But it
I'm
needs
wondered-
power, doesn't it?
Yes.
Immense amounts of power.
Is that not the power from Vulcan? I thought that was the result of his spark.
And the Forge Keeper.
Precisely.
And whatever power was inherent in the key.
But there was one before that gave them their strength. That forged the sparks originally. When the settlers left, they had a god that wanted to see them safe travel. So they gave them the spark of the five. And through that, my patron was born. A guide to see them across the sea. Something that had a connection to where they wished to go.
Not quite. The Forge God Canipus sacrificed himself, turned himself into something that could not be destroyed, could not be quenched, and could not be lost. A perfect, beautiful diamond.
Hmm. He was a
Something
ruby.
with God.
You talked over each other, what?
God, name, type.
Canopus.
The key, the Forge, was a ruby, not a diamond.
Are you sure?
No, I'm no jeweler. It was just red. A red diamond. I mean, I guess that would make sense for fire.
His shape, a perfect sphere. One
Yes.
that would be hard for any of an evil heart to carry.
Makes sense.
The keys.
Yes.
The keys to the forge.
That's what I was getting at.
I'm sorry, I'm not disagreeing with you. This is fascinating.
Yes.
Vulcan is capable of great creation on his own, but it is far more tiring if you must pull upon your own divinity to do such a thing, is it not? As Kira just sort of nods along.
Makes sense. Certainly makes sense. Fascinating.
What of you then, Kira? Before you were the five, before the settlers arrived, and years passed, and you were made you, did you know the world before? Could you feel it? Did you exist? before you were given form?
That's a deep question.
Kira sort of scrunches her face up. Yes, but also no.
There are some theories that suggest that the five are also a creation of the Titan Thylea, for she accepted the settlers into her world, and that was her way of protecting her newfound children from, well, her children, Sidon and Lutheria.
And the exact details of our creation or existence are kind of covered under the Oath of Peace. Mother had her reasons.
That was Mitros' doing.
I think a bit of both of them. As the legend for the Oath of Peace says that it was fiercely negotiated between Mitros and Lutheria.
Lutheria reigned in this land long before the five, long before the settlers, long before Avalon fell.
That is correct. Her brother, her mother, her father, and apparently this phoenix, even. Those were the entities of Thylea. Long before the five.
How did they find a connection? And Sophia just sort of lowers her head and starts to rub the side of her temple. You start to see she's actually sweating as strange book seems to be taking a decent amount out of her. But just starts murmuring to herself. Essence traveled across the ocean, created more like a sister, but how did she find Lutheria? What did...
Nyx is going to walk over and put a hand, crouch down and put a hand on Sophia's shoulder. I understand the desperation to put all the pieces together. We've just scratched the surface of knowledge unknown to most of us, most of the world, it seems. But we still have a path ahead of us that we must follow. Maybe we will find answers along the way. No use using all of our mental resources trying to figure it out now.
Oh, Damon, there's a mural that I saw. Imperia kind of pops out the front door. In here that has a Naiad in it, and she looks terribly familiar, but that's it. And I was wondering who she was.
One half of the beginning of the Myrmidons. One of Xander's greatest friends.
Interesting.
And the
Why?
inspiration for your people.
The Amazons?
Yes. You are, by association, a descendant of the Myrmidons.
Fascinating.
Her way of thinking, her way of living, as I understood it, became the code and the basis and foundation for the Amazons.
Kind of a myrmidon.
Anyway,
Kinda.
yes. Hmm. Perhaps the teaching will aid you in the challenges to come.
One can only hope. Well, then perhaps I can bring it back once all of this is settled, and I can convince Themis that Luceria isn't all that. It's even more sad now.
Themis has lost its way.
That's why I came to the mainland. Well, that's why we all of us tried to escape. Well,
Hippolyta would be disappointed to hear such a thing.
sorry, I got very excited about that name. Yes, I can understand why, especially if they're from the Myrmidons. What a way to fall off the rails.
I
Ah,
have never seen a people more passionate about an idea than the Myrmidons. To be united, side by side, differences tossed aside against the common tyranny of the Titans, was a marvelous
well,
thing to behold.
sure. I'm a little sad the Amazons weren't like that. We can, we can get it back. It's just one more task for the future, right? One more reason to get through this alive.
Hmm. Perhaps.
Thanks. Well, Sophia, are we ready?
I'm done. Start moving forward again.
Well, do you need a moment to recover first? You look a little tired.
No, just straining on the mind, but start to move my feet and I will balance.
Very well.
Extends a hand to help Sophia up.
She'll take it. Get up to her feet.
Hmm. Like I said to you, we reach the final challenge, and enlightenment awaits. Though I must admit, I would be impressed if you were to understand what Thylea truly is before Xander tells you.
Those answers are within his challenge.
What is the final foe?
Oh, Thylea.
You have your answer. But
I see.
you have two foes beforehand.
Right.
A challenge devised by myself, by Xander, by Mitros, and aided in part by a very wise and powerful warrior woman, as he sort of looks to you, Inferior, and his other best friend.
Myrmidon. Wait.
If you believe yourselves ready, then I will open the way.
Well, as ready as we'll ever be. At this point.
The Dungeon is a strange place. As Damon sort of just moves into the hall past you guys, almost seemingly immaterial. It is comprised of magic, layered upon magic, layered upon divinity itself. It is a place unlike Thylea. Spells and the traits of creatures, young and old, will struggle to evade and surpass the dungeon. But you will find your way. As Damon brings forth his lantern and shines that strange light, now concentrated into a single beam, into that starburst gemstone, and it seems to be filling it up like bit by bit as the energy just seems to pour into it. This challenge is not like the tombs around you. It is not consecrated or cursed. The treasures within, from those who have come before you, are yours to claim, should you choose. There is no oath that will strike you down.
There's always that.
As that beam seems to sort of charge up that gemstone in the middle, and sort of looks to each one of you, looks to Kira. You have a spark to sacrifice, should you choose to. I do, but it is, well, it makes for a better story if the heroes prevail on their own, doesn't it? That it does.
Not really concerned so much about the story as we are about, succeeding. This is for a lot more than, well, glory. This is for, saving Thylea. It's not just us that suffers if we fail.
And this is true. The Oath of Peace extends into the challenge. It is one of the few oaths that does. Huh. All right, then. Well, if I am needed, then I will aid you.
Are you not going to be able to... Oh, never mind, we have Kiki. Right?
Not entirely sure that's what she meant.
Oh, no, I want to see this thing. It's been here for 500 years. I have no idea what's inside.
Yes, that's what I mean. Wouldn't you have to come with us to be able to write our tales of how we've defeated Xander's challenge?
I think she was telling Damon that if he needed help, she could use his spark.
Ah, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Expressing to you all that if you want her to use her spark to aid you, she will do so.
I require a gun.
You're just going to keep saying that until somebody procures a gun in this campaign. You want to see how
It's
far
one for you.
You want to see how far your power extends, Brandon.
Look,
You're
I'm
already
sorry.
already manifested it in the other game, Brendan.
I'm sorry that Mercury died. All right, it's a rough time out here for all of us. Hopefully, we can get our flying Texan back, and maybe he'll have a gun. Who knows?
Our 4 times new Texan.
Oh my goodness. What effect would it have exactly if you used your spell? Assuming we're talking about a specific situation here, not, if it comes up.
I could use it much in the same way as I did at my mother's temple. To make you all the heroes I know you can be.
So if there's something in here that we are going to need the assistance of a god to take down, you can still aid us.
Once.
I see.
To call upon that level of magic would burn out that spark.
I see.
As you recall that strange and sort of potent and powerful speech she gave before she started playing her divine instrument, channeling that inspirational energy into all of you, pushing you to the peak of your potential.
Well,
You already used up most of it running across the country, didn't you? Fess up!
What? No.
well, I would like to think, considering Xander's challenge is open to all, hopefully we will not find ourselves in need of it. I suspect there will be challenges after this. We would like to use your Spock instead.
Let us hope. The way will be sealed behind you. Once entered, you cannot leave until you have finished. But you have the freedom to approach this challenge however you wish.
Oh?
Kira has told me things happen beyond the scope of Telemach. The clock ticks forward, and tensions rise. But even if the world is burnt a bit, the new Dragonlords will be better poised to save it than a world without.
Thank you for the reassurance.
Yes.
Nyx nods, seeming to understand in her way what he's getting at.
Don't worry, I'm fully willing to let the world burn.
Oh, we already know that, Sophia. You've made it quite clear. The world can burn so long as you get to be with your moth mommy.
That's right. Big moth titties. That's all I'm here for.
Cursed.
That starburst gemstone is filled with light. It is a strange bluish teal, and then it shifts, getting clearer and clearer until it's just a single pillar of white light. All those who wish to enter, step forth into the light.
Vera glances side to side at her companions and then steps forward.
Nyx steps forward with Imperia.
You two are just like showered in light. It's like you're standing on the top of like a spotlight. So you have like these shadows casting into the wall, but you don't disappear or teleport out of existence or anything. Like you're just standing in this big column of white light.
Pick up the T-posing Atreus and just throw him into the light.
Yes. Drag my character. Do it. Do it, slave. Move me.
Stop! Don't say that!
Nyx, you're the first to know it as Damon begins to speak. This time aloud. Again, that same raspy voice, but you see it encircling the gemstone, those words written and etched in gold light up with each word. Let those who venture forth do so united against the challenge of XANDER. Face the foe of dragonkind, the foe of mankind, and the foe of Thylea herself. If they are worthy, then may Thylea be blessed with new Dragonlords forevermore. And as that last word is uttered out, that golden text, shining light and sparkling with energy, charging up this last bit, you see Damon look at the lot of you as that light starts to almost start to blind you all. You can hear the distinctive scritch of Kira's quill on parchment, and Inferior, you notice just a soft, caring, sunken-eyed face peering out of the shadowy dark of Damon's hood. A man who has seen countless heroes face this challenge and perish. And he looks at you with the softest glimmer of hope in his eyes. As that light flashes forward and you feel yourself turn almost inside out.
Ow.
Immediately a feeling of seasickness, and then you are somewhere else. And as that light,
Where are we?
I changed my mind. I want to go back. Fuck!
it is startling. It is shocking and uncomfortable, but then almost strangely reassuring, especially for Inferior and Nyx.
Oh.
Yes. Give me one moment. I forgot they added a search thing. Perfect. This makes this so much easier.
You said something startling. What for Inferior Nyx?
It's startling and then comforting in a strange sort of way. Yeah. As you
It's your
are,
bird song.
yeah, you're granted the sounds of birds. There is this subtle breeze blowing into your face that smells of rich soil and life, joy. It's immediately reminiscent of the old woods. The turf is luscious and fragrant like dew-dappled woods. And everything within you, Inferior, almost reflexively, tells you that you're deep in the old woods. That white light fades away into this soft, comforting yellow, the feeling of warm sun upon your skin, the smells and sounds on the air. And off in the distance, you hear soft singing, the sounds of revelry, a pan flute being played. You see around you willowy, supple, and youthful trees that almost seem to dance in the winds. But then you notice on your sides, thick, heavy, stone cavern walls. As all right, hopefully this doesn't explode.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Famous last words.
Death, 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 death.
Oh, we're so tiny.
What is this? A dungeon for ants?
We're so little.
Where are we? Are we this white blotch?
I did it. I did it. I'm here. Oh my god, this looks like the cavern where we killed the nymph lady.
I don't
Kind
even
of.
see a map.
We're a little tiny white blotch in the middle.
Zoom in.
Oh, okay, wait, so I'm not the only one that just doesn't see just the giant white blotch. Okay.
Yeah, everything
a
else
little
is
tiny.
just dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, does the light allow you guys to see a bit more?
Yeah, I turned on my lantern's always on.
Okay, let me just make
when
sure
we're in
because it's
dark spaces.
uh,
Not
it
even
should
dark,
be.
it's just...
Holy fuck, this map is huge. Like, hang on, I'm gonna zoom out for the for the Twitch stream. I need them to see how fucking big this thing is. And that little dot of color, that's where all of our tokens are. That's where all of the players are. Look at this shit. This thing is huge.
Okay.
So,
Looks like
is this what everyone sees? That's all I see.
What is? I look.
Oh no, you broke.
No. You
yeah,
broke
just
it.
try refreshing.
Yeah, I told you, like, all I see is a white blotch. With
Our
more white
blotches-
blotches.
Our white blotch is not quite white blotch. Our white blotch has stuff in it.
Yeah, how far are you guys able to see out in front of yourselves?
To here. Along
60
this
feet.
side.
Yeah, this is like the edge of my light. I don't know if you can see
To
it.
dark
here.
vision range.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, I
mine
think
too.
that's my dark vision that I can see. Let me turn off my lantern, see how far I can see. Okay, without lantern, I see out to here. And then with lantern, I get 10 more feet.
I think I have Ibis selected. No, I have Imperius selected. Yeah, I can see as far. I can see the whole thing. And then when the lantern goes off, the last 10 feet just get a little dimmer. That's all.
Okay, give me 1 second.
That sounds like it's cake time.
And while Peter gets sorted out, I'm going to run a 1-minute ad so that we can turn off pre-rolls so anybody comes in can just jump into the fun.
Yeah. We'll be right back, taking a quick short break. Mm-hmm. No, you are. Yeah, it's like midday time. No, I wouldn't fuck myself with trying to have you enjoy yourself with that on top of everything else. Come on now. Hey, good stuff. All right, getting back into it. Yes, coming into this strange new environment, Inferior, you feel like you are deep in the old woods, and this is only doubled up by looking forward into the sunny glade in front of you, and you see a mixture of nymphs and satyrs dancing and enjoying themselves just in the midst of revelry. You see luscious fruit and the like being passed amongst, and drinks and the like being shared. It is a picturesque sight. And as you all come to your senses, you hear a voice in your mind, one that you have not heard before. It sounds stern, disciplined. It reminds you, Inferior, of your captain, first and foremost. We must be certain. You must be true. Friends can be enemies, And the enemy could be you. The weak-willed cannot lead. The weak-bodied will not survive. Achiro il Sashumi Shivrano. The last phrase in Sylvan. A long phrase that you know Infuria and maybe Nyx
Yes.
directly translates to in the land where all life thrives. But that phrase has a double meaning. It is the most proper name in Sylvan for the Old Woods.
Interesting. Can we have that in writing so I can look
Yeah,
at
can
it?
we have that in
I'm not a very auditory person, so I did not
same,
hang
same.
on to all of that. This is why I don't listen to audiobooks. So I don't retain it. When where all life thrives. Can we have the riddle too, please?
Yeah, can we have the whole thing?
Oh, sure.
There was a riddle? What?
Rip Sophia.
I didn't hear no riddle.
Rip our
That
smart
was
one.
totally a riddle. That was totally
Supposed to be a riddle? I thought that was
I'm
just like
interpreting it as
telling
a
us what's
riddle.
happening.
Oh
It
god.
was
Or that-
totally a riddle.
It was a voice in our head.
Oh, I thought.
But
it
yeah,
was
but
like
this
one of
is
these
also the
people-
beginning of the challenge, so you don't know that. Could just be the challenge introducing us to the challenge.
I was too distracted by cake. I thought it was one of these dudes down here talking to amongst themselves.
Oh my god. Okay, we must be certain. You must be true. Friends can be enemies, and the enemy could be you.
Where's our adventure log? Where did that quote just go?
The weak body. It went in the main
Probably-
chat.
Yeah, there is an adventure log. I don't know exactly where it is. I want to say it's in the journal entries, but let me see. Adventure. It is.
Oh, it said lead? I thought it said leave.
I'm glad we have it in writing for that reason.
Well, I mean, the weak-willed cannot leave makes a lot of sense. Made sense to me, which is why I didn't question it. Questioning it now.
Well, but I think that it is more of a like if you're gonna negotiate with someone and like lead an army or lead the dragon, you can't be weak-willed.
Got some like 2-1 first striker. We got an Eidolon that gives lifelink.
Look, Brendan. Brendan, look at me. Look me in the camera, all right? There is a lot of Magic the Gathering coming up. I need you to be
Nice.
good. There's a lot, all right? So, some of it you'll think, is he really doing what I think he's doing? And I'm not. I'm just stealing a lot, okay? Because there's some great names, some great art. Just roll with me. You'll be okay.
That's
Looks like you had to
that's
call
what
it
I was
all
like when I
out.
saw my card. Wow, look at the 7/6 with Overwhelm.
I think
Crazy.
Inferi kind of looks at her companions. I think that perhaps this might be a bit of a reenactment of the Dragonlords arriving at Thylea. The negotiations that formed, well, the Melodons. Maybe? Perhaps, just based on the riddle. But, well, it went a bit over my head.
Now go ahead and
Is
unpause.
this scene frozen? Like, are they doing anything, the people that we see? As
Yeah,
we're
they-
hearing
they
this
are
We're
voice?
just-
reveling.
Yeah, they're just reveling. They're just enjoying themselves.
No, they're
as
not-
I'm-
oh.
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and unpause, and my way of doing things in a dungeon is a bit different compared to overworld stuff. I will just be waiting for you to tell me what you want to do.
Do we think that this voice poses a challenge of some? And what?
Only
We're
makes
supposed to
sense.
discern friend and enemy from.
You know what I genuinely think in this moment?
What?
I think like many before us, we're assuming a challenge means something to fight. It means something we are up against.
Said negotiate.
What if this is more so a test? Xander's challenge is Xander's observation. I'm going to go mingle with them. They look like they're having fun. It's a party in the forest, after all. We've been to one of those before. Snix is going to
Well,
go
we
on
should
over.
still be wary,
Of course, always wary.
but never
Not
quick to draw.
I mean,
precisely.
we're supposed to be new Dragonlords. Wouldn't it be weird for, I mean, we have two.
Is there something that
Yes.
keeps appearing?
It looks
It's
like
the
blocked.
tree. It's the tree. I can't go through the tree.
Why
Next
No,
not?
is
I see
gonna-
enemies.
Sorry, what was that, Atreus?
For some reason I have Nick's vision. I don't know why.
Atreus, you were saying something.
The
In character, or me saying, "Oh wow, I see people past the fog."
yeah, same. My Twitch cam sees people past the fog.
Okay,
I see
well, we're
people.
just gonna keep seeing people. I
Yeah.
guess.
There is a thing that'll like essentially allows you to effectively communicate the things that like one of you sees to the others. So like the things that Nyx can see, some of you all can see as well.
Oh, there's people over
weird.
here too.
I mean, if we're supposed to reenact being Dragonlords, I mean, both of you are nymphs.
I don't
Well, I
think it's a
mean-
reenactment.
Well, I guess wasn't perfectly clear. I just meant, mingle with the locals rather than just slaughter them.
Right.
But
think-
still be careful.
I think this is I think this is another instance we're saying the same thing using different words. Inferior. I think we're aligned.
Yes.
I'll leave it to you then, Nix. But I'm a bit vague if it comes down to the challenge of ascertaining friend from foe. I'll leave it to your eyes, as Sophia will put a hand on your shoulder, and everything around you starts to get a little bit more clear. Everything is sharper, your ears become sharper, your sight becomes sharper. There's a little enhance ability, gonna give you that eagle split. No! Owl's wisdom, that's the one. Giving you advantage on your wisdom checks.
Is there a thing for that I can put on my thingy?
I don't believe I have a Owl's Wisdom condition.
Make a note of it.
Thank you, Sophia. As she is going to go to those that are enjoying in
Can you just bring the
merriment.
spawn marker with us?
I'm trying to. Don't worry about what I'm doing.
Okay.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trying
that
to
was
figure out why
Brendan.
Twitch can't see through your guys' eyes.
Some pretty interesting beasts in here, y'all. Like, what are these ferret things?
Yeah, looking.
I don't know, what are they,
around-
Brendan?
Pretty sure they're 2-1 first strikers.
Oh, okay.
God damn it.
Looking around, you see. Yeah, they look like strange sort of bronze statues along the walls. They look like various small forest life, foxes, badgers, and other fuzzy omnivores, posed in different playful positions, like they're chasing after each other and stuff like that. You see a number of different nymphs as you walk further in. You notice a few dryads in trees, either relaxing or drinking, napping. You see a pair of Oreads, almost strikingly so. These mountainous nymphs, rock emerging from some of their arms and from their where there would be hair. There is just this column of what looks like warm stone as heat seems to irradiate off of the pair of them up here, as they seem to be enjoying each other's company. You see naiads playing in the pond in front of you, and satyrs dancing and playing instruments.
What was
It
wrong?
is-
They're just 2-1s. They don't have first strike.
I would like to vote Brendan off the island.
I veto your vote.
I veto your veto.
Okay, well.
Now we're
never
at an
mind.
impasse.
Oh. Oh, I guess nothing happens then.
Okay, well, I guess we move forward.
Where's the party at? That's where Nyx is going.
It's
Seem
kind
to
of
be
all
in the
spread
middle.
Yeah,
out.
everywhere.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah. This beautiful looking, almost kind of strangely sort of like ephemeral naiad sort of turns in this pond at your approach, Nyx. This masculine looking, but with a long flowing mane of watery hair. You see stars glittering all inside of them as they look at you. Ah, we have more to join us. As he turns in this pond, and this is what you see. This beautiful looking man.
Yes, hello. I'm sorry. I hope we're not disturbing anyone. It sounds like a joyous occasion here.
Every day is joyous. Here, the sun shines upon our leaves and glitters through the water. Welcome. What is your name?
My name is Nyx.
Beautiful name. A joyous name. Nyx and their followers.
My companions.
This one to your immediate left sort of steps forward a bit from underneath the shade of the tree. A variation of a dryad that seems to have like a strong connection to not so much the trees and the bushes, the verdant green, but a connection almost to like food and like grain and sunlight. This strange variation glitters with a golden skin that almost seems to fall off of him like leaves in this beautiful arrangement. Stars glittering through him as well.
I like your look.
I like yours.
Well, thank you.
You'll sparkle with stars, but clear in the day. I don't think I've ever seen such a thing.
Well, you have sought out beauty, and you have found it. Yeah. Come, sit with me.
What, is that this dude? And is he talking to all of us?
Seems to be talking to you, Varia.
Oh, to me.
Yeah, it seems like his first statement was in response to Nyx, but the "come sit with me" was directed towards you.
Nyx gives Infuria's a knowing smirk.
Varia is just kind of like, slight moment of social panic, and then walks closer. Ibis, fluttering along.
He almost seems to teasingly, with a playful smile upon his face, pull back, holding out a hand, wanting to beckon you beneath the shade of the tree.
Furia's hesitant, but dude hasn't exactly made any hostile moves, and she doesn't feel like she's not in control of herself, right?
No, not at all.
So she's gonna come under the tree with this dude.
Oh,
You
you
take
don't
the-
say.
Do you take the offered hand? He's sort of holding it out, almost in the same sort of posturing like one might at like a fancy noble to ask you to dance, but this is, obviously to sit under the shade of the old wood trees.
Awkwardly, but yes.
As soon as you take his hand, there is just this comforting and pleasant warmth, as though sunlight is just being poured into the palm of your hand. And he pulls you beneath the shade of this tree, and you find yourself amidst its twisted roots. They are not twisted with malice, they simply come up out of the ground, and it's something you sort of notice walking along this path. Each of these trees almost seem rather similar, all of them protruding from the ground a bit at their base, which would make for sort of difficult terrain if you were, trying to run through them or whatever. But seemingly, there's this perfect gap for the two of you to sit underneath the shade of this tree. Tell me, beautiful, feathered tree, from whence have you traveled?
Very far. And I'm not totally sure where I am. But it's been a very long journey. Up mountains and across seas.
Perhaps you are exactly where you need to be.
I should
He
hope
looks at
so.
you with
I
this just comforting and warm presence.
hope so. I worked very hard to get here.
I bet.
I'm curious. Who are you?
I have gone by many names, but you can call me Helio.
Yeah.
What
I
is your
only have-
name?
I only have two. The one I call my own is inferior.
Inferior. He almost just seems to reach into the roots of the tree and seemingly pulls just a soft green and yellow pear almost out of nowhere and just takes a bite out of it. He just seems to sort of lean into the tree and relax against it. And assuming you're leaning against the tree as well,
Yeah.
you hear for the first time, Inferior, in so long, the signs of life, conscious,
Yes.
breathing, sun absorbing, air exchanging life from this tree.
Inferior kind of has a moment. Might embarrass herself, but definitely just kind of like almost like curls against this tree, kind of sideways so she can put both hands on it and cheek against it and just closes her eyes and like hums. Just like communes with the tree.
Must grow big and strong.
No, but like actually though?
A similar sort of sentiment, but not literally the exact same words. Just
No!
a calm hum that almost seems to synchronize to
Okay.
your own.
Okay. Not trying to eat me.
No. The normal sort of thing you would hear from a tree that you haven't tried to get the attention out of, like, I am existing and I am living. I want to continue to do that.
Okay.
When you've traumatized your players with the one little viney boy.
I'm sorry, who?
It was an Inferior thing. So what are you doing, Sophia, as Inferior seems to be enjoying the shade by Helio, and Nyx seems to be watching and also communicating with this starry naiad who seems to be swimming back and forth almost lazily. He's just like floating on his back at this point, staring up at the sun.
Sophia sits down in the grass, watches the group for a moment, then begins to cast a phantom steed ritual.
Okay.
Wrote that like 5 minutes ago into the chat.
Oh yeah, you did. Okay.
Also, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck these things are. Could have sworn they're 4/4 flyers, but I can't find them anywhere.
If you don't play the game in front of you, I'm gonna drive down there and beat you up.
Where was the journal that you referenced where the event log is? I keep trying to find it.
I thought it was underneath your character name, because I searched journal entries and did like advent, and it came up like adventure log, but it was empty, and I don't know why.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding. So I'm like, where did this thing save?
But you can keep doing that, and we can find it later.
Okay, well, I need the words. That's why we can keep going. I'll put it somewhere. I can actually keep looking at it.
Put them in them Google Ducks.
Oh,
Clear
Google Docs.
the image off the other screen.
Iris is going to flutter down to rest on Imperia's knee.
As Helio passes you a pair of your own.
Imperia kind of looks at it, sniffs it, smells it. You know, does it feel like a pear and look like a pear?
It feels like a pear and looks like a pear. It smells really, really good. It smells like it's just chock full of tasty peary juiciness.
Imperia will bite the pear. Watch it be like Hades pomegranate or something.
It's absolutely delicious.
This is divine. Better than anything I've had in weeks.
Well, I'm glad to have given it to you then.
Which is this place?
It is our sanctuary. A place of solace. A place of warmth.
I can see that. What I'm trying to figure out is why I need to be here.
Why wouldn't you want to be here?
It's not a matter. Oh. Ha! I knew it! Shift is advantage, right?
Oh, I heard a ding!
Doobie doobie doop.
Oh, it says private on it. That's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Got doobie doobie dooped.
Totally forgot what he said. I got very distracted.
He said, why wouldn't you want to be here?
Oh. Not really a matter of want, more a matter of need. We came here looking for something in particular. This was not what I was expecting to find.
What were you expecting to find?
Oh, definitely something more. Well, more desirous of my head on a pike. That's what I've meant every step of the way, really.
You have lived a violent life.
Unfortunately.
Would it not be better to live a much more peaceful one?
Oh, I don't doubt that it would be better. Unfortunately, duty calls. As does responsibility and a variety of other things.
Here is safety. Here is security. The lands beyond our borders are not so pleasant, not so forgiving. There's a Trace, what are you doing?
I don't know. I guess wandering around. Why is there like white striped things? I don't know.
They
I
just
guess I'll
mark
just
the
wander
trees.
around. Tree marks.
Yeah, the white striped things off in the distance.
They know
Yeah,
they
in the
appear every
trees.
time you move.
Yeah, every time we
Over
click
the
our token to
trees.
move, little grids show up on the trees and bushes. I'm just assuming it's so that we can't move through them or something.
No, it just indicates difficult terrain. It means you're moving underneath the trees and going through the roots.
Yeah, I guess the trees will approach one of these. What are these rams? No one stops him.
Yeah, Nyx is, as Atreus approaches, Nyx is going to ask her buddies over here, inquire about them over there.
They are the guardians of the border.
What
The forest beyond, is not as friendly as ours. And they hold the key to keep us safe. To keep you safe. As he sort of swims a bit away from you and holds out his hands to you. Both of them just sort of beckoning you in. The water is perfect and beautiful, Nyx. Join me for a swim, won't you?
Nyx gives him a smile and glances over at Inferior, who seems to be enjoying her moment under the tree. Darling, it sounds like a delightful time, but I'm not one to enjoy one part of scenery. I am a nymph of the stars, after all. I'm going to browse around this lovely place. She turns down his offer as kindly as she can.
You sort of turn around to walk away. You, in your very high passive perception, notice sort of sneaking up on you with a comical sort of grin on his face is this silly little satyr who looks like he was about to push you into the pool before you slip past. Damn.
Nice try.
If you won't swim with him, maybe you'll dance with me. As he sort of looks at you, and he just has this sort of air of confidence.
You all are so charming, so inviting. I must say it's a pleasant change from where we've been. Perhaps I'll take you up on that dance later, darling.
You wound me, but
I know.
I will hold you to it then. As this confident satyr sort of moves over to the other playing music and sort of dances idly next to them. As you sort of take them in a bit more, you realize that they have sort of like this tomboyish appearance. You realize that they have some overtly feminine traits, but keep their hair cut short and look rather playful. The satyr next to her, bare-chested, obviously a dude.
Obviously, though.
At
Is it
first
really?
glance, rather.
What is this dude? I can't figure out.
He's another satyr.
Are you trying to figure out what card he is too, Brendan?
I'm just trying to parse what the art is because it just looks like a weird spiky ball.
Yeah, it's sort of from a distance. You can sort of see there is a small sort of series of strings that seem to play nearby him. This small sort of harp as he moves his fingers across a simple pan flute, and his horns seem to have horns springing from them. As this is more or less what he looks like as he plays and entertains.
Okay.
Oh.
We need the full picture, the token art. Confusing.
I'll get out. Cool beats.
Inferior.
Yes, Nix?
Snix approaches the two dryads under a tree.
Yeah, you, with your immense insight and aided quite heavily by enhanced ability, the way Helio looks at Inferior is obvious to you. Even as you approach, he does not stop looking at her.
Wait. But what is the look?
Like that's like a sexual look? Is it a hunger? Like what is the obvious look? Because you know women and femmes have a way of recognizing looks on men. So there's a lot of obvious. So which is the obvious?
It seems like to you it's obvious that for him at the moment, she's the only thing in the forest. As your phantom steed comes into being.
So obviously he wants to pee on her to mark her as his territory.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Inferior, there's some... I would like you to meet some of the Guardians. I was going to introduce myself, but Atreus is already on his way, but I feel like it would be better if we all go at once. So I extend my hand out for Inferior to take it.
As much as I am enjoying myself, that is probably wise.
You're leaving so soon. Don't you
Not
want to stay?
leaving. Not leaving here, not yet, but exploring more of this beautiful place.
I see.
Don't look so heartbroken.
If anything, you should be feeling special. This is the first time I've seen her comfortably around somebody for this long of a time.
Nix.
You see an immediate sort of hopeful face appear on his. You don't say. As Sophia just ghost rides next to you guys on a.
Right up on a strange gray horse.
Seems almost ephemeral.
I've no intentions to steal her away from you, my dear. She is not my type. She's merely a good friend.
Inferior, just like face palm, full on hiding behind her hands.
Come now, youngling. As I extend my hand to Inferior.
Inferior sighs, reaches out a hand.
See,
What
look,
is
she
possible?
not wait to return.
As you start
As I pull-
as you start to stand, he for a moment tries to grasp your other hand.
Inferior doesn't know what to do with this. Do you want?
You will return swiftly. There is so
Oh.
much more I wish to learn about you. As he will try to gently kiss the back of your hand.
Barry just kind of stares at him wide-eyed, freezes.
Oh, very charming indeed.
Shut up.
I hope that means we found the way forward.
Yes, I'm glad you've joined us. Atreus has already gone in that direction. I'll fill you in on the way.
Barry does kind of like awkward finger wave and backs away.
Oh, I always enjoy the show, Inferior. You poor thing.
Sophia's horse
How
shoots off, and then she
terrible.
slowly lags behind, and then slingshots back into place.
Nyx and Inferior.
Oh. Oh. Another one. Okay.
Oh, these are private.
They are. You
What
can't see
does-
your results either.
Okay. I hope that was with advantage.
It was.
Yes. Oh fuck, I can't even see the roll?
Nope.
As
You're
Atreus,
just flying blind.
you advance forward a bit and sort of scout out what this strange sort of other area is, and walk through and past the trees, ignoring the calls and seeming advances of these dryads in the trees. And there is this strange, not star, even though it's marked as a star, this strange sort of large statue by this other pond. It is peculiar because it doesn't look like anything you've seen before. Well, that's not exactly true. It kind of looks like a horse. That's like the thing you can make the most out from it. But it has wings, but it's not a Pegasus. You've heard of myths of such things, great heroes being granted such flying steeds. This looks like a horse with wings, but like twisted wings, like the feathers are missing. It has the head of like a strange goat or like deer with large protruding twisted antlers. And its face seems almost contorted in pain or panic, as it just seems to be sort of like flapping itself up toward, like it's trying to like get away from something and go up into the air. Its wings sort of swept forward and its head sort of tossed to the side like a panicked horse. But it's like this strange, like just it looks like a fucking monster. And it's just a big stone statue of it.
That certainly looks like a fucking monster to me.
Really nice.
Is its its back legs look sort of like horse, but you can see that there's large talons where there would be hooves and no front legs, just big wings.
Huh. Is it
Nyx,
supposed to be like unsettling?
it
Or is
doesn't
it just like, wow, that's really weird?
definitely more the latter. It doesn't seem like it, like looking at it is like actively disturbing or something like that. There's not like some strange aura that comes off of it. It just looks like a really weird statue, like literally just a big weird monster statue.
Oh, that's really weird. Anyways. I mean, I kind of spied it from across the map, but it also looks like the place that we just came from.
Oh, not over there. This star here.
Yeah, I know, but also this thing. It looks
Oh.
like whatever we're just walking to, teleportation
Ah,
circle.
shit! It's following you!
Yeah, looking at that, it's like you see the stone walls of this cavern come together, and there is just a wall of white mist.
Maybe it's a good thing to stop me.
They don't seem interested in you at all. They seem almost statuesque, unmoving.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
As Kira moves to catch up to you, Infuriae and Nyx, you notice as she like walks and idly scribes what she sees all around her. The various nymphs don't even seem to pay her any mind.
That's annoying. As Nyx is guiding Thylea and Sophia through, she's musing to them her finding. Everyone here is so friendly, so eager to have us join them.
Say that again.
I'm not certain if it's from a place of not knowing there's anything to be afraid of, or if
Well,
it's
why
something
should
we
they be
have.
afraid?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they have no reason to be afraid of outsiders, it would insinuate that this place has been peaceful for their whole lives.
Totally isolated. I'm
On
not
the-
convinced they aren't constructs.
On the other hand, there could be reason for us to be wary. Something so inviting as this, charming, enchanting, as Nyx says that, looking towards Sophia.
I agree with Inferior. It is part of the challenge. It would make sense if they were a form of artificial life, or even illusion. Creatures
guess-
living here for generations wouldn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, that is true. I guess I'm approaching this from a perspective of what was Xander thinking when he created this place? I want to think that perhaps this is some of the stuff that he had seen.
Possibly.
This might have been the Old Woods. Before the Old Woods are as we know them today.
You know what these creatures are? The ones that Atreus is poking at.
They are known as the Guardians of the Borders. They keep the inhabitants of this place here safe and keep out what's a danger from beyond. Well, that's why I've beckoned for you. I'm glad you had joined us. If he's approaching them, perhaps we should too.
Clear to
if
guard
there
the
is-
way forward, and hopefully they have the answer how to leave, or at the very least, the question.
They
Precisely.
should be doing everything as a unit. United, right? Teamwork. The chief directive was to stay. What in the world is this? Varia notices the creepy statue.
Yeah, Nyx is looking at the statue, but besides what she's taking in from its appearance, she's also noticing it's facing away or flying away from the lake, and then investigates.
Investigates the lake.
Yeah. It's a
Alright, what are you
very
doing?
odd. Looking into it, trying to see if it's mucky. Is it clear? Is there anything to
It
be
is
seen within?
crystalline clear.
Nothing in it.
It
Any
seems... It's odd. Looking down into it, thankfully it seems to be the midday. You sort of glance up and you see the, You haven't really looked up in this place. You're in this massive, strange cavern. The ceiling seems maybe 30 feet up at the highest points. And there is this light. It feels like sunlight, but you sort of squint your eyes and you're able to look at it, and something you're not really able to do with the sun outside. There's this distinctive sort of pattern around this light, and you notice it does not seem to move. You look back down and see the light cast into the water, and this pond, this little small lake goes down. Rather deep. At least 10, 20 feet. You can see what looks like, not perfect, but like almost hewn rock framing the sides of this short little drop. And you can't really see the bottom. It seems like cut off. Like you can see maybe half of it. As at this point, with that information, give me an investigation check. As the light seems to be sort of distorted all the way at the bottom.
God, fuck.
Yeah, that's what you see.
What are you looking at, Nix?
Statue flying away from a lake. It's common to place statues by lakes, I would think, but the posing had me curious.
Do you
Odd
see
places.
anything?
It's clear and it's really deep, but I couldn't see beyond a certain point.
Period.
One clarifying detail, sorry. The posing of the statue has it pushing itself away from the golden rams, not away from the lake.
Oh,
Oh.
never mind.
Fixed.
Is it? I thought it, because the wings are pointed towards the ram, so I thought you had it right the first time. That's why I thought it was understood.
It was pushing itself backwards away from the
Yeah, it's
rams.
pushing
I
itself
see.
backwards away, not flying away.
Oh, because it's like rearing up away from them.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's
like,
facing them. It's just
yeah, it's facing them and then trying to push itself away, like, huh! So you can flip it back around. Yeah, drawings.
the weird, basically just a PETA steer.
Well, you know, if this were a scene, Nyx looks at the lake, a creature propelling itself towards the lake and then at rams. I wonder if that's how this is able to stay so peaceful.
What do you mean?
I like to banish the unwanted.
Shove them in there and they disappear.
I'm sure there's an answer more complex than disappear, but essentially.
That doesn't seem quite right, because it said, well, you said that the Naiad told you it was to keep things out.
Well, they are guardians. I'd imagine part of keeping things out is getting things out that aren't welcome. Nyx
guess.
continues forward.
Imperial will follow. Bang. Close together.
Trace, I'm assuming that you've already spoken to these guardians and have made sure we had passage through, yes? Good job.
Do the rams do anything as the rest of us approach? No.
Do not move.
I feel like we're missing something. Something vital. Imperial glances back at the revelry to see if anything's changed.
Helio has moved to another tree to the north of the lake, and you can see him sort of looking at the lake as one of the satyrs swim with the naiad and another more feminine looking one. It seems like they are mostly, for the most part, ignoring you. You catch him sort of take a glance over at you, and as he realizes you're looking at him, look at you, he sort of quickly looks away.
We seek passage. Do you speak?
Oh.
I just sort of shout out to the one north of me.
No response.
I don't think it works like that, Sophia.
Well, had to ask.
Do they look like statues?
A little bit.
I
Kind
think
of
they
hard to
don't.
tell.
think they probably won't move until some action that triggers their, well, guardian response.
You said
feel
this
like-
is just filled with fog over here by the what looks like the exit of this place.
Yeah, looking at it from where you're at, it just looks like white mist. You can scrunch your eyes. It looks like the white mist is kind of moving a little bit, but it's hard to tell from where you're at.
I feel like we're missing something.
Oh, we're just walking around.
Nyx is going to approach the one to the south cautiously.
It does not move. You can see it has these large golden wings coming off the side of it that seem like pointed up, straight up towards the sky. Not really trying to take off, almost in this strange sort of pose. Its head is down low towards the ground, and between these two beautiful horns with a strange chunk of stone. And that chunk of stone seems to be floating between the two horns and seems to be the source of this strange light.
Oh, the other one's posed the same way.
They are all posed in their own different ways, each of them the same looking, and each of them having those strange stones.
Sophia, take note, Sophia.
Sophia's gone.
God damn it, where'd you go off to?
See her on the other side of the pond, approaching satyrs.
Quickly riding up on your phantom steed.
As you notice the horse is insanely fast. Ew, I don't want to. Well, I thank you for the hospitality, but our group is not meant to stay here. Do you know how we gain passage through the mist?
Sort of turns to you, still dancing next to the other satyr playing music, and looks at you. You don't wish to stay? Oh, what a shame. You will certainly regret that. But
Uh-oh.
the way forward, well, we never want to leave, so we do not know it. You should reconsider. There is nothing for you ahead, and everything for you here.
She rears back around, starts heading back to the group.
Do you want all of us to hear the private roll dinging?
It is what it is.
Okay. just
Dinging
making
everybody.
sure. Yeah.
Satyr says that they don't know how to get forward.
Sophia,
Yes.
they're all posed differently. Look,
Give me
maybe it's
that.
some sort of puzzle.
Give me that saving throw.
Oh, I've got to click the button. I thought that was just like a, hey, there's a roll happened. I'm guessing normal?
They have a stone between their horns. The antlers, rather. Are the stones different on all of them as well, or are they the same?
Kind of difficult to tell. They seem rather small compared to them, and you're only in front of one of them. It does seem kind of misshapen, and it just seems to sort of slowly rotate in place. You do notice as it sort of rotates in front of you and passes over you, the stone looks rather plain, except for one face of it seems to have this like white sigil on it. As it sort of passes in front of you, this looks like a single character, some sort of symbol or something.
Am I able to read it?
Give me an investigation check.
15.
Hey! Nicely done. It is a simple symbol. Do. Where is it? That one. Scroll. Just the character for 4.
This is a number.
Interesting. There are 4 guardians.
That's a number
Perhaps this is the
4.
4th guardian.
So if this is a puzzle and they are all posed differently and all of those stones presumably have numbers, it's an order of some sort.
That's
Hello.
one way of looking at it.
Well,
I'll
we
show
have
you
to
what
look at the
you're-
other ones to be certain.
Show you what you're looking at here with these statues. As you can see, taking a closer look at them, they seem to be made of solid metal, but they also seem sort of hollow on the inside. There is like this soft sort of black space in between a few of the gaps that comprise their metal composition.
Automatons of some sort. I'm still not convinced that we learned all we could from the denizens of this place.
Be sure to close the artwork when you need a sec.
You might be right. There is a lot to take in. If we are to be united, I do not think that necessarily means physically united, just in our goal and how we want to do things. We can agree we all want to figure out how to get to the next area, and we all agree that we have no reason to attack unless provoked.
I agree.
So who wants to continue talking to the denizens of this place, and who wants to investigate, humor my conspiracy of this supposed puzzle with me?
Well, I'm not very good at talking part.
I was hoping my magic could aid you in ascertaining what they truly knew or not. They told me they had no reason to leave this place, so they don't even know the possibilities of leaving.
That
If
makes
it's
perfect
possible
sense.
or not. But
That
I
makes
don't know
perfect
if they're
sense to me.
lying.
Well, perhaps Nyx should go back with the aid you gave her and speak to the denizens about things. Imperial glances nervously at Helio. And I will investigate these automatons.
Damn, I was really hoping to avoid getting in the lake with that pretty starry water one.
I think you have to get in the lake with them. There's plenty of other ones to talk to.
All right then. Sophie, are you intending on accompanying me?
I can. Without any real clue or cipher, numbered creatures, these gold-forged sentinels as they were, I have no guess in how to operate them.
So Inferior could gather what they are, at least compare what makes them all different, and then after us talking to the denizens of this place, perhaps we'll have a better idea of how we are to decipher it.
Yes, Imperial kind of calls back to him. Are you going to join me?
He just nods.
What pose is this one in?
This one across from you here seems to have both of its wings at its side sort of folded in and seems to be looking not towards you, but straight across this way. Just seems to sort of have its wings folded in, its head held up high, and its whole body pointed towards the south.
Barrio's going to like sidestep in front of it, wave a hand,
Doesn't move.
peer closely at the rock. Can she read the sigil?
Yep. 3.
And then she's going
3
to
or free?
3.
going to
The number.
That one's
Cool.
3. That one's 3. And she's going to yeet over to this one. What pose is it in?
That one seems to have its wings flared out, almost in this, almost forming like a U or like a C on its side. So like they're sort of pointed forward. And its head almost seems like reared back. Its front legs joining it.
Can she see the stone?
It's a bit high up, but as it sort of rotates and flips over itself and you get glances of it, seems to be a 2 as Sophia and Nyx make their way back over to the revelers.
You've already asked them if they know a way out. Oh, I think I do have another question I would want to ask some of them. Is this the satyr that wanted to dance with me?
Mm-hmm.
Darling, I haven't forgot about you. I'm very curious about that statue in the lake over there. Could you tell me the story of it?
Makes no eyes.
When I awoke, the statue was there. She sort of twirls in place.
So I grab their hand and I assist in their twirling. Do you know anyone here who has been around longer before you emerged? You see, I'm so intrigued with stories and history, especially of a place as wonderful as this. I simply want to know more.
I suppose maybe she might. And she sort of twirls in place and points down towards the lake, towards this other naiad or watery creature who just seems to be sort of not floating, but almost sort of sitting against the lip of this this lake, sort of putting her arms onto the soil behind her, like one would sit against the edge of a pool. Perhaps you could ask Undine.
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 Undine. Thank you, and I don't think I caught your name, dear.
Satira.
Lovely name. Satira, I am Nyx, and it was a pleasure dancing with you. As still holding on to their hand, she's just going to gently spin them around and then curtsy before she pivots and goes over to Udine.
I hope you'll dance with me again.
Perhaps someday soon. And goes over to the lake. Undine. Nyx is just going to sit herself on the edge of the lake.
What is it?
Cecilia tells me you may know the story of the statue by that pool over there. Please tell me you do.
A foolish, simple creature. He did not wish to travel with us. He did not wish to stay with us.
Oh, great.
Wanted what our guardians possess.
Did the Guardians cast that creature out? That pool is awfully deep. Is that where it was vanished to?
No. It waits in stone.
It's petrified.
That is what it is called, is it not?
Oh, fun.
It is petrified. A reminder to the rest of its flock, I suppose.
I presume it was the Guardians doing. Petrified that monster for trying to take one of their gifts, as it were.
As I understand it, yes. There is a lot to see when you are part of the water.
Have you seen what's on the other side of that pool over there?
On the other side.
Well, the bottom. It looked very, very deep. My mothers used to tell me tales where if I ever saw a pool so deep I could not see the bottom, some would say it was a secret entrance to another place. There was a myth, a fantasy, one that was supposed to bring me wonder. I was only curious if you've explored there.
Cat did not like that idea.
Some places should not be ventured to.
Oh.
The bottom of that pool is one such a place.
Is that because the Guardians say so?
And she sort of looks up at you with these soft, watery eyes, this glittering starlight floating through her, this seashell necklace, and these soft fins on the side of her face. That is because I say so.
Oh.
You've seen it, haven't you?
She sort of holds a hand out to you.
I look at it a little inquisitively at first, trying to get to read on Undine as she extends her hand out to her.
Sure. Tell me what it is you're intending to look for, and then give me an insight check.
Well, she didn't directly answer if it was because Undine has seen the bottom of that pool. She's wondering if her silence is an admittance. And she's admittedly hesitant to take her hand, not sure if she should.
So what is it you're looking for?
Fuck, can I trust this bitch? Should Nyx have any reason to not take her hand?
Sure, give me an insight check.
24.
Nice.
She seems
Oh, it's also a
mysterious.
wisdom check too. Do I get advantage?
Yeah, advantage.
Hell yeah.
You just click the little
Get
plus.
advantage. 24 is still the best.
Yeah. You. She has an air of mystery and avoidance of your questions, but there's no sign of hostile intent. She seems just as welcoming as everyone else.
Nyx is going to, for a moment, look over at Sophia and make sure she's paying attention before taking Undine's hand.
There's a cool, refreshing feeling to it. And she just sort of softly moves her hand in front of her out over onto the water. Do you move out over into the water?
Yes, after taking off my fur pelt, yes.
You step onto the water. You expect to feel your foot sink into it, and it does not. It is firm beneath you. 1, 2, 3 steps. You're standing upon it. I did not want you to fall. And she looks at you with a smile, and you can feel the water almost sort of slowly move out of the way, allowing you to float within it, gently, slowly, as though Undine controls the water she is a part of, as though it's part of herself.
I appreciate that. Do you both share this lake?
He is but a friendly visitor. I am the lake itself.
Just this one, or are you the lakes of this place?
I am this lake. As she moves her hand over the water that she floats in, that you float in. It's give me another insight check with advantage.
That was
Did it with
disadvantage.
Whatever, it's a
Alright.
24 still.
24. She answers that. There is like this sort of shift in the flow of the water around you, like this sort of stillness that happens for just a short moment as she says this. You get the feeling that maybe it's a half-truth or something she's not saying. It's hard to place.
Undine, I understand the value of protecting a place like this. And I understand why it is nobody here would want to leave. But my friends and I are not of this place. I know you're hiding something. I will not fault you for it. But we cannot stay. And I would like your help.
She looks at you, looks up at the sky again. But wouldn't it be so much easier to stay in a place of safety and comfort? Is still holding your hand. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Public?
He didn't give you a private thing.
I'm still asking. 26.
Nice.
Don't have advantage on saves. It's still 24.
24. Just straight 24s.
There is this immediate wash of calm, pleasant, almost effervescent feeling emanating from her, from this lake, from everything around you. You want nothing more than to stay in this peaceful little place. You feel the will to move forward slipping away. But something pierces through the veil for you. Keeps your mind sharp and on track.
Nyx is going to put a gentle hand on Undine's cheek and smile softly. It would be so much easier. I cannot tell you how much easier it would be after the life I've led. But it is not for me. It would be easy for me to stay here forever and bask in this glorious place. But I am needed by others, friends who rely on me to come home. It is for them why I must leave. But perhaps, after I've helped them, perhaps I can return.
You notice a strange sort of mixture of emotions on her face. Her watery eyes sort of not storm, but almost seem to like foam a bit. Like there's this strange sort of whiteness mixing into the water of the top half of her face. It almost seems like her eyes and her brow furrow into this angry contortion. But the bottom half of her face is sad. As though saying goodbye to a friend. Why? Why couldn't you have stayed? As this large, watery hammer emerges next to you and tries to shove you into the water.
Dear God.
As
Oh, come on.
that is
Alright,
where
what
we're
about
going
us?
to end tonight's session.
Ah!
It's a peace hammer of friendship.
Yeah,
Good
it's
choice.
going to be popped with love.
Yeah, it's like a water noodle. Or a pool noodle.
It's like that
Yeah,
Big
except
ol'
it's
water
actually
noodle.
very hard, and it actually
It has
hurts a
bonk
lot.
written on the side of it.
bonk.
Bonku.
Send Italian to remind you of my love.
As we'll be coming back as Nyx tries not to drown and the revelry, well, takes a turn for the worst. As it is rather late and I don't want to start a big old fight right here, right now.
Fair,
So-
fair.
Not fair.
There's a lot of dryads and stuff over here. As we shall see what happens with Infuri and Atreus all the way the fuck over there. Jesus Christ. Poor babies.
Far away as possible.
We're playing charades with the deer.
As
You don't?
we shall see what takes place with this upcoming fight and where our heroes go from here. What secrets are hidden in this lake? What remains past this strange misty border? And how do our heroes get past it? And what is that statue an ominous omen of? These questions and more will hopefully be answered with the next episode of Heroes of Thylea. Not this upcoming Sunday, but the following Sunday, as I want everyone here for that. So we're going to take next Sunday off. We'll be back on the 22nd as we get right into the mix of things with Monsieur Brendan being up for a recapo. So there you go. We'll need decent details as we'll have a week off. But that is all I have for you tonight. We're going to go ahead and share the love with someone else playing some D&D. And until next time, may your dice roll 20s, and you always make your saves.
Bye.
Bye.
It's Brendan's turn to be quiet this week. Is that what's happening?
Oh shit, yeah.
Here, I'll
We're
give you your cue.
fucking Delta shit's still bad, and it's getting worse because people don't want to think about it anymore. But you still got to think about it. So fuck you. Too bad.
Violence.
Go out, get your shots. Love ya. Bye.
Who should be ready?
Just go ahead and read like shared experience.
As a designer, 'cause I'll be like, I could justify this purchase. It's